Good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your Spider ETF. And as you can see, I've got my Eat Bob. I went to Montana with my good friend Bob, who he owns a spectacular rib man. It's a rib factory that creates the ribs. You always go to a restaurant where they're perfectly square and they're always certain size and the best of the best. That's his business. So we went to Montana together, had a great time. All right. So today, which is August 7th, 2025, we had a very mixed day in stock market. We had a lot of news coming out from President Trump about the Fed. So let's go there maybe and talk about this. New Fed chair, I think the race has now come down to Waller, Warsh, and Hassett. What has gone away is CEA, that's the Council of Economic Advisors chair, Stefan Moran, has become the nominee now to the board to replace the Fed governor that is retiring tomorrow. Mr. Moran's the architect, by the way, of the Trump weak U.S. dollar, lower interest rate policies, the Mar-a-Lago Accord that was created. So that is the gentleman. He'll have to wait for the Senate to return from its vacation, its summer break. And when he does, I would assume he'll have just about everybody behind him. He's a pretty bright guy, Harvard grad too. Russian oil tariffs, okay. Is this going to be the taco trade? I would hate to see the president not put the tariffs on, and I want to make this ultra clear, that he uses the framework for India of 3 weeks, because all Russia will do if there's no meeting is they'll continue to decimate Ukraine and the small villages and everything that it can. If you're going to get Putin to the table, tell him you got 7 days. We either meet, don't meet, and the beauty of it is the meeting this morning was on, according to Russian media, but there was no mention of Zelensky. It came right back with the White House saying there's no mention of Zelensky. That's a precondition of this meeting, that he be present in some manner. It's his country. So the president, I hope he holds him to it and doesn't do that old taco trade that traders talk about. I'm expecting churn. You know that. I've said that I expect a lot of churn in the stock market for the month of August. I'm not being left behind just yet. Why don't we go to the charts and see what we've got? Toast. It dropped yesterday. It tried to fill the gap. Couldn't do it today. Closed lower one more time. When we look up here, we see that we had a higher high, lower low pattern in the chart. We see that the market is bouncing around from the lower Bollinger Band to the upper band practically. It hit it, of course, there and slipped back. This is the exact action in why I'm covering it. And this is what I was hoping for, that after this rally, the market would do this and set up eventually a trading pattern that makes some sense at lower prices. I think that's what's going on. The market is holding the Bollinger Band really nicely, and momentum is pointing down. We're not trending. You have a higher high, lower low, and the momentum is no longer in overbought territory. This is one on the radar list. In Netflix, I didn't expect it to go too far. You lost the bearish embedded reading. I thought you could make it to the 18-day average of closes. You didn't quite get there, so you can get there tomorrow. 1191.21 is the high, and I was looking for an 1193.26. In Dash, I mean, the earnings and all, this is just a strong company. I was listening today to CNBC, and Kramer's going, just buy it this morning. This is good. I'm going to go against him. He may be right a year from now, 6 months from now, but one thing I've learned is when you buy over a Bollinger Band, you can often come in at a better price. So I'm not going to go chasing that. When I see Google, higher lows, okay, the market's got the higher high. It's trying to embed. If the market breaks through the lows of Wednesday, then there'll be a problem in the market. You probably won't get the embedded part locked in. Are we embedded now? Well, Thursday, yes, not the day before. So you got a little ways to go here before you can say, this is better. Starbucks saying, no, the swings here, the high and low, you've defined the trading range, probably going to hold the 100-day average and challenge the 18 from the looks of things. If you take out the lows of Wednesday, then the Bollinger Band's back in play. But I certainly don't see anything I'm excited with. And Robinhood, what I'm fearful of is the market breaks out over the Bollinger Band and just keeps going for a true breakout of the market, and this was the break low. I need to see a failure to get me more comfortable for buying opportunities in it, and I do like it on the buying opportunity. Tesla came back to the 18-day average. So while the trend is down, the market found its support at the 100-day average in the Bollinger Band. It stopped the break. You can see where you're at right there. When we come to JOBY, you know I've started just new coverage of it because I think this market's going to find its support at the 18-day average. I want to see it trade a little bit here, but I'm thinking that that's what it's going to do. In XLF, the financials, there was a big failure in those today. They try to bounce, miserable day by the end. XLI still staying on the industrials underneath the 18-day average. You saw the downgrade in Caterpillar today, so that didn't help the industrials either. In XLE on the energies, well, until you know more about what's going to happen with Russia, it's hard to play anything. In order to make these go up, I think you have to have energy closer in America to $70 a barrel than where it's trading right now. You're just not going to get the interest of the Permian people and the others to really expand the production. In GLD, higher lows, higher highs, gold's looking good. And with that in mind, I've decided to do two reports. They're going to be back to back. So I'm going to do the dollar index, which ties in with so much of what you're looking at right now, followed up by a special report on gold. Might do them both tomorrow. So I will notify you over the weekend how you can go see it. Be ready. I've laid out all the charts. Now I'm doing the seasonals. And once I sit down and record them, it'll go 1, 2, 3. So will you be able to get back to the Bollinger Band? Are you going to stay within here? The one thing I am is bullish. I have said before, and I keep looking at the numbers coming out in data, that you're starting to see the pressure of these tariffs. Once you work through the inventories that people bought ahead of time, you've got it. Even the word stagflation can come out, where the Fed gets paralyzed. What can it do? And inflation is moving a bit higher on you. We'll see. You've got the higher high, the lower low here, not doing an awful lot in the silver. I just see it meandering back and forth. The miners, by the way, and that was the silver miners. The COPEX came back up, and now the miners are out of that bear trend in copper. And as I said, copper's finding a new trading range in the futures, so just be careful with it. It's not ready for much of anything because remember, you had the 50% tariff on all copper, then that came off. It was just 50%, no 50% on refined copper. That's what a lot of what we do is, but anything that you buy abroad, faucets or parts that go inside and it's manufactured, that's going to have a big tariff. BND, higher lows, higher highs, fully embedded. The market is pricing in 96%, the last I looked at it, of a September rate cut at the CME Fed page. 25% then, 25%, I think it's October, and high percentage still growing for December. So some people think 3 cuts coming. UUP, lower highs, lower lows. And by the way, with the new pick that of this Fed governor, I don't know if he'll be approved in time for the September meeting, but if so, he probably would vote right along with the president if he's a voting member. I got to check that too. Lower highs, lower lows. In FXE, now you're back over the 18-day average. So the dollar, for the moment, threw out a sell signal. FXE, the euro, for a moment, threw out a buy signal. So that is a change you want to see. Remember, you can get all my free offers right now by going to our website, giving a click up here at any of these icons. I will catch up with one and all tomorrow morning, and in the other videos tonight. You have a great evening.